air intakes, there's a lot to choose from, and it all depends on what's your budget and your power gain expectations. Hi, I'm Eric, and it's Eric Venzon on Instagram, and I'm installing a Z1 cold air intake and Dewla air guide on my Nissan 370Z. Watch it. So I'm currently running Z1 post-map silicone hoses paired with K&N drop-in air filter, and I would consider this as a level 1 cold air intake setup for the VQ37BHR. Does it make a whole lot of power? No, hence level 1. Now I'm bored with my current setup, and my next plan was to go force induction, turbocharge, supercharge, but let me tell you, they're expensive as heck. So the next level would be going true cold air intake. So there's two ways to do cold air intake. It's either you do 2.5 or 2.75 inches of diameter in piping, or you go with the 3 inches, which requires tuning and a little bit more cutting in this area. So we're going with the simple route, the 2.5 one. You can actually do this project in like an afternoon, but for my case, I just got off work and I'll probably do this in like a span of 3 days. I know what you're thinking. You don't want to listen to me talk and blabber about something and yada yada yada. So we're just gonna jump right in, remove a bunch of stuff, put in the Z1 cold air intake and the Dewla air guide, and then boom. Yeah, to think about it, I should have gone for like a dyno day and checked for the baseline of my current power, but I don't give a shit. Power right now is not my top priority. I'm just here to have fun and just mod away, Okay, let's just go. Okay, I removed this front bumper a lot of times in this channel, so I'm going to rush through this. You can watch it here if you want. We're also removing the radiator shroud for the Dewla Dezign Air Guide V1. We're removing 2 trim clips, center cowl, and 8 14mm bolts for the scrub bar. Then we're taking off the engine cover with 5 10mm bolts. To remove the stock air box, there's a 10mm bolt right over here, and here for the passenger PCV pipe. Unhook the negative terminal of the battery, then proceed to disconnect the MAF sensors. Loosen the throttle body clamps and the rest of the PCV pipes. Wiggle the OEM airbox to take it off. And I'm also putting a plastic bag over the throttle bodies because I know I have to stop halfway for tomorrow's install. To remove the air inlet ducts, remove the 10mm bolt right over here and use a long nose pliers to push this one out. While everything is out, I'll be installing this Dewla Dezign Air Guide V1. I snagged this off at Z1 on a garage sale price, so I couldn't pass. The kicker on this one is that it doesn't have any instructions, and I couldn't find anything online. They only have the V2 installation guide, so I'm doing this blindly. I'm temporarily removing the horn so it's somewhat easier in the installation. Remove the 2 10mm bolts on the radiator shroud, and we'll be replacing them with longer bolts. These slots on the air guide are for the bolts that we just installed, so we have to slide this huge aluminum piece and align it with those bolts and make sure the hood latch clears. This air guide is fully adjustable for Z's with additional oil coolers. Now I'll be installing a supplied nut to the back of the air guide. Installing these nuts are tricky and time consuming, especially when you don't have a very long extension, but I managed. Now we need to secure the bottom piece by drilling and tapping underneath the tow hook with their supplied drill and tap bits. I'll do the same on the other side where there's a hole in the air guide, lining it up there. Adding the washers to the bolt, tighten everything, and return the horn, but this time the other way so it clears the air guide. Transfer the OEM MAF sensors to the Z1 pipes with the 7mm bolts. Make sure that you have the correct orientation, and then I'll put them aside afterwards. Add the Z1 throttle body couplers with the clamps. Make sure it's snug. Add the Z1 PCV tubes with OEM hose clamps. Install the tubes with the couplers and PCV pipes. Slide in the silicone hose through the inlet and attach it to the aluminum tube with the clamps. Take the intake cone and install the corrugated or ribbed side of the aluminum union pipe to the cone, and then install the entire thing to the silicone hose. Reconnect the MAF sensors and the negative terminal of the battery. On paper, as advertised, this setup should give you 16 wheel horsepower and 12 foot-pound of torque. No additional cutting, so it wasn't that bad. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 on the installation for both parts. It it looks intimidating installing the Z1 cold air intake and the Dewla air guide, but for me it was kind of therapeutic. Let's just say that, yeah, my depression is cured 50%, which is great. Unfortunately, I'm not going to drive it yet because I have a lot of parts yet to install, like right over here. So me putting back the front bumper on and then taking it off just for, this video, I just don't think it's gonna work out. If you thoroughly enjoyed my take on installing the Z1 cold air intake and the Dewla Dezign Air Guide V1, please leave a like and consider subscribing because that just gives me the serotonin I need right now. You can follow me on Instagram at its.ericvenzon, and I promise you, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, folks.